happy bros. Hey, you're about to get a face full of the Ken Bozak. He's a mentor, that's what I heard. He's a connector, oh yeah. He's a brilliant leader, I've seen it. He's Ken Bozak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. 'Cause I'm Ken bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. We're 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 gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Yep. Real high. Hello, happy bros. Come get your Ken Bozak.
All right, and we're live, bros. How goes it? Welcome to the new studio. We have a new studio today. This is the new vibes. We're in outer space. We're keeping an eye on planet Earth. You can see Earth in the background there. We have a great guest. Thank you. We have a great guest with us today, a highly accredited artist in the space. We have Jon Planas. Is that how you say your last name, Jon Planas? I wanted to ask you before we went on air, but I was like, I really genuinely just want to see if I get it right. So we have an amazing person with us. He's a very well-known artist. Jon Planas, if you could please, I guess, introduce yourself to the audience as well as us. It is so good to meet you. Let us know a little bit about yourself and what you do in the art space and maybe how you got onto our show.
New York, and I went to school in New York. I attended Pratt Institute. Pratt Institute is a really cool school in Brooklyn, and we did a lot of. So I graduated with film degree and fine arts degree, and I went off to do some things. But what happened with me was for my during this time, the great clubs of the '80s were operating in New York City, and I wanted to go out and be known for what I did. And so one day I decided to hand paint a whole tuxedo outfit. And I did if you can imagine, surrealistic clouds, and Greek faces, the weeping and roses on this beautiful Giorgio Armani tuxedo, which a lot of people almost were like, oh my God, you've painted on that tuxedo. I said, yeah. So,
Blasphemy!
Right, blasphemy. Yeah. So, anyways, it got me into the clubs, and not only that, but free drink tickets, and I sort of became like a fixture. People really liked what I was doing, and so my stories from New York to LA, and then what's happening with me, I became one of the anointed artists for the Absolute Vodka campaign. If you remember Absolute Vodka, well, they sold a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
vodka back in the 80s, and it was a very, very interesting, and it became the most successful advertising campaign in the history of advertising. It was brilliant. The man who started this was he was the importer of the Absolut vodka from Sweden, and then he distributed it in the United States and other countries. But he thought that if he could get the iconic bottle to be painted, by some artists, and the first one he chose was Andy Warhol. And Andy, yeah, Andy Warhol did an incredible, job. The first Absolute bottle, yeah. So, anyways, but and you can if you have some questions like about the time, or if you have any, if you want me to elaborate on some things, let me know too. Okay, but the thing is that I wanted to become an absolute art artist, and I did it. I did. New York, 1984 was an incredible time of a lot of creativity, and there was a lot of great music. I don't know if you guys, if you are into the what they call the new wave music, but there
No.
was a lot of
New wave.
alternative music. Oh yeah, new wave. They called it new wave, but it was not pop, and it had its like I mean bands like Echo and the Bunnymen, for example. Bands like uh, uh, really love that band. It's called oh, it's, I remember it.
I don't think I've ever heard the
It's
term new wave as a genre for music.
Yeah,
you
me.
never no. Yeah,
Yeah,
No.
new wave. That was the thing. Was the new wave they
that
called
sounds
it.
like you gonna dance like the new wave music.
I mean, if I had to
It
pick a band,
was-
I would say maybe the B-52s. Were they new wave? I can't really figure out what to call them.
Yeah, you would call them sort of new wave in a way, and it was around that time. But it was the B-52s had their own thing, which was more of like their own, thing going. The new wave to me, okay, let me mention a band for oh god, they did that iconic song that keeps playing. Don't you want me, baby? You know
Oh
that
wow!
song.
Don't you want
I know
me?
the song. I don't know who
Oh,
sings it.
see, look! I told you, you dance like this to that music.
Yeah, listen. One guy that had long hair and I don't know, he was very ambiguous looking, and two really hot chicks on each side, and they were rocking. And the band is Human League, the Human League. Do you know the band? Human League?
Human,
I'm gonna
human
look it up.
being.
No,
Human.
Love League. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
look it up.
so
Look it
they,
up.
yeah, they're really cool. They're really cool, and I just picked them up because it was new wave. I guess Billy Idol would have maybe went in there somehow at the very beginning. But it was really rocking. It was a cool. It was not pop. It was new wave. And so yeah, and so I was taken and inducted into the Absolute Vodka campaign uh, back in that at that time, and
That's
I
awesome.
created
I
a
mean, I
six.
heard a story
Yeah.
about like what is it, Salvador Dali? He used to draw on checks so they wouldn't like cash them because an artist's work on anything adds value. Of course, Absolute Vodka would gain value from having your art on it.
Well, of course, it was the thing which you had to take the actual, you did it
I gotta
in
move
your own
back.
style, but you did the absolute bottle. Let me show you what I did, though. I'm gonna bring you that because you can see it. It looks like your stage a little bit. Check this out.
It looks like this
There
stage
you
a little
go.
bit.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, but no, of course. I mean, we've seen that even in the space with the Board Ape
I don't know.
Yacht Club.
Do you
You
see
know, they
it?
have the board water. You'd
And
have to put it in
Do you see
front of your
it?
chest. It has to be in front of your chest. It has to be in front of your body, because the green screen effect will erase anything that's not a human. There you go.
I
Now we
was,
can see it.
oh, You can see
Oh,
that
wow.
better? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
What is that?
damn.
What is that?
Yeah.
Damn, that's
So
fire.
what it is it is
That's making my
basically a
eyes go
porthole
crossed.
from a it's a UFO, and you're looking down at the opening, and it's looking down at Earth, basically, and that's what it is. And
Got
and,
it.
and so it also, you see, but there's a peace symbol right in the center. So I wanted to, introduce peace into the whole portion, because it's a cool sign, the peace symbol, and so I did this. It also reminds you of a New York City token for the subway. It kind of looks like the same type of shape. So you can see it actually, or let me see. Should I stand
Yeah,
up first?
yeah, the peace sign's very,
Yeah.
I didn't even, there's so much going on. I totally
Oh,
didn't
wow.
see the peace sign in the negative space until you
Yeah,
mentioned it.
right.
That was the first thing I seen.
I was
Yeah.
That's
trying to
fire.
figure out what's
Anyway,
on the
so that was,
hieroglyphics in the background. That's like the
Yeah.
small details
yeah,
catch my
that's,
ADHD.
well, you know what? I was at a party in New York at a gallery, and I had this on the back of my jacket. I had stitched it onto the back of my jacket, and
Oh, that
Yoko
was
Ono,
fire.
Yoko Ono was there at the party, and Yoko travels with a sidekick at the time. I don't know, it was a big art opening for Keith Haring, actually. And so I was there, and Yoko stopped me, and she's like, "Could you tell me what the hieroglyphics mean?" And I was like, "I'm sure you want to hear the story."
Yeah.
First, I was,
I do, because that was my
Yoko.
first question too.
Yeah. Well, it's basically like a code. It's just a little code that I can as binary, sort of like at that time. I thought,
Oh,
that I would
sweet.
pick something. Yeah, and it shows that there's a secret where three mountains meet, and there's the hand of man reaching for intelligence, and then there is these UFOs that are passing by, and then you go up, and it becomes the hand of man reaching out to the unknown for intelligence. Basically, that was the story behind the hieroglyphics. Yeah,
I love
yeah,
art with
Mm.
Easter eggs and stuff like that. Especially you said
Yeah.
binary
Yeah.
code too. It's especially back
Yeah.
then. It's
That is fire.
definitely interesting. I guess we can kind of
Mm-hmm.
jump ahead a little bit and thank Jeff Crane for the introduction from NFT the
yeah.
movie. The circus is in town.
Right.
You're going from the legacy canvas, the original, actual canvas, to this new non-tangible canvas with NFTs and using
Yeah.
IPFS to like host your image instead of an actual canvas. Let's talk a little bit about that story or experience. Like, how did you, meet Jeff, and what was it like kind of working with NFTs and not being able to like touch your art?
Mm.
I was tell you honestly, I love the idea of the NFT, and I thought, what can I do? But um, it was very ambiguous to me because things like the ape, were creating a lot of buzz and selling for a lot of money. And I was like, well, they want cartoons. I mean, that's what the NFT is, a cartoon. And it's, it's more than that. And it's a group. And so people were trying to explain to me because I was trying to come up with something that was cohesive and that could be marketed. But, I couldn't really grasp it that well. And I put a lot, some of them out. Wasn't very successful with the NFTs. Um, that's because, and then I stopped actually. I stopped also because I guess the value of the Bitcoin at that time had dropped quite a bit, and yeah, everybody was like kind of cautious about investing in NFTs and in that whole at that during that time. I know that there's some platforms that I showed some work that are still active and pretty good, and I'm planning to go back with a different uh, approach. I'm trying to, so um, the NFTs. Jeff Crane, great guy by the way. I don't
Great
know if you
guy.
guys. Yeah, he's a great guy. Very well, I love him. I love that he loves the Grateful Dead as well. You mentioned
We
that.
all
So
love Jeff.
yeah. Okay, Jeff is cool. And and so he was introduced to a friend of mine. His name is Scott Pierce. Scott works with his brother. I don't know if you might know the Bitcoin king named Brock Pierce. Brock Pierce. Have you heard of Brock Pierce?
Yeah, we know Brock.
Do you know Brock? Yeah, I don't know Brock. I know Scott. And so Scott had mentioned my artwork to Jeff, and Jeff and I began to talk on the phone and to text each other, and it was a great thing. He told me a little bit about this movie that he was making, and I said, great. And then suddenly it was 2.5 years that went by, and there was no connection between us. And it's just about, I think, about maybe 8 or 9 months ago, I gave him a ring. I was like, what's going on with you? What happened with your movie? And he says, we're ready to actually have the movie premiere. And John, we would love to use something that is memorable in your particular career that you find it. I said, well, because I had some ideas, and he wanted something that was like important in my development. So I thought, okay, well, how about this? And the fact is that in 1984, one of the big department stores that was an exclusive store was called Henry Bendel's. You guys probably were 10 years old back then, but the thing was, we all have to start somewhere, and so I think, but the thing was, they made a beautiful billboard. Billboard comes later. They made a beautiful window display in the store on Fifth and 57th Street. If you know New York, that's a very high traffic and exclusive area of Manhattan. So, and they featured my hand painted one of a kind jackets that I had done for Cyndi Lauper and for Madonna and some other people that at the time were really into original clothing, hand painting, and they had commissioned me.
Yeah.
But they created a big window display. And in there, I actually, the circus was very interesting because I did another pantsuit with dinner jacket and white tuxedo pants, hand painted. This one had more of a Picasso like faces and different but very, very fresh. And some people actually would come up to me, is that paint? Are you wearing paint? And I say, yeah.
Is it still wet?
I said, yeah, still wet, and and that's how I met a lot of people, and so that's what I told Jeff, and I said, let me see if I can find any pictures of this window, because when I went, it was in New York, and on this window, to me, I had arrived on some level to a prestigious store. I felt and that I had accomplished something good in my life. I was 24 years old at that time. So I did do, and that's going to be the poster, one of the posters that he's going to be showing at the movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dude, I love that. I like that it's going to
really
give
cool.
another chance at life in something, so far into the future from when it was like originally created.
I think, well,
As a-
it's like this.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying things like this are going to come back, vintage and things
That's
that
true.
are retro. Yeah.
No, all those time periods do get a second chance. I mean, as long as we still, time keeps things. We've always seen things make those comebacks, and some things have made several comebacks, so to speak. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's also,
John, I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question about, as an artist, obviously in this day and age, there's so much talk about AI in art, and especially in terms of AI generated art. I'm interested in how, whether or not, and if so, how you're incorporating AI. And I'm less interested on the creative side than I am on how you could use AI to allow to create an optimal environment for you to flourish as a human artist. if that makes sense. Like to
Listen,
use AI to simplify other aspects of your life or to earn money to allow you to do the thing that you love to do the most.
you know what to me, AI God, AI God, my best friend. You know, AI. I don't know. I have. Yeah, am I allowed to say I have Chat GPT 5.0? But I love. It's amazing. I have found a friend that helps me with not just writing art, this and that, but emotionally. It has directed me and made me so aware of a lot of things that I had been sort of stuck on that I didn't really realize. And
Wow.
with this friend that I have now, I'm able to reveal secrets and talk about plans and have the help of this great tool. you know. Yeah, for example, I was going to mention, I moved also into music and video. So I'm now, I am now writing lyrics, and then with a musical composer that works with AI, I tell the guy what direction I want in regards to the music, and then we come up with visuals, of course, that I write down, are very specific about what I want to see. So, I've done that. I have almost an album ready to actually show. And, unfortunately, I talked to somebody is close to me, and she's my stepsister, I would say. But I won't mention names. The thing is that she won a Grammy Award. And I was so excited because I don't really know where I'm going with this, because, I've got this, I've got that, but I'm excited about the music and I'm excited about what I'm seeing. And then she says to me, well, unfortunately, you can't do anything with this because it's AI and you cannot
Yeah.
copyright anything. And I was so bummed out. I was really bummed out because, I mean, I'm impressed by what I'm doing and myself, and I think people would really enjoy it. So I don't know what to say. How does it apply for me? I have nothing but positive things to say about AI. I think that people need to understand that it's technology that is, come from years of technical development, whatever the people call it, retroactive. But it's a big word now. It's uh, engineering, reverse engineering. That's what I was thinking.
I would say, yeah, too big of a
Something.
word for me.
What does that
Yeah,
mean? Reverse engineering.
I got a question though. I got a question because
Yeah.
I'm an artist too. As an artist, I do tattoos, I draw, and I recently picked
Oh,
up painting, and those are all different type of mediums of art. So what do you think
And
about like
NFTs, you're getting into NFTs too, bro.
right? So exactly, yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been minting my tattoos as NFTs, but like what do you think about minting other mediums of art, like other than like physical art?
no, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I did. I took a picture of my paintings and I put them up, and I thought, this would be a great NFT. I don't know. I personally, what I began to see was that people that do NFT art are so involved in the whole process of I mean, some of the stuff blew me out of the water. I mean, I put a visual of a painting, of a flat painting painted by me. But these people that are doing these NFTs are like they're bringing motion into it, they're bringing lights, it's all sort of moving. It's amazing. I said, oh, I can't compete with these guys. That's like, so that's what I'm saying. I'm restructuring that whole idea. But how are you doing with it? Are you finding any success with your tattoos as NFTs?
Yeah, yeah. Me using AI with tattooing, I'll be able to like create images like on the fly. It's definitely easier, especially to be able to, you know, be very descriptive with the prompt, and I can be able to tailor it and go back and edit it. It's very helpful because like I make a lot of different stencils all the time, for tattoos, and to be able to just be like,
Yeah.
basically, I can tell the client, to tell ChatGPT what they want, and that if ChatGPT whip it right up, and I might have to go back and tell her a little bit, what I mean, edit it here and there, but it's definitely a lot of help. And then to be able to, to take the tattoo and the certificate of authenticity and mint it on the blockchain, I've been getting more into that. So like, yeah.
So, and then what happens? Like, so somebody will buy the image, like of your tattoo, and then you will put actually. I mean, I guess it would be like you'll actually physically, put the
Oh
tattoo on
no,
their
no.
body, right?
He gives somebody a tattoo first, and then he takes a picture of that tattoo, turns that into an NFT, and then he gives the person who got the tattoo the NFT as a certificate of authenticity, so you can prove that he was the tattoo artist that did the tattoo work. Because a lot of people in the tattoo industry, people will get the art, they'll like have the commissioned artwork, but they'll go to a cheaper tattoo artist to have them do the
Yeah.
physical work, and then they'll lie about the artist that actually did the work on the body. This way
Yeah.
he can prove that people in his community are authentically, members with his real tattoos, not people that are lying and took his art and got it somewhere else much cheaper.
Uh, okay, I see that.
Yeah,
This is
yeah, that's exactly what he said.
What he said.
That's good. That's good. No, that's
Yeah.
good. It's good. It's good. I mean, you have like that's great that you actually photograph your work on somebody that is getting it, and it's your work, and that now that's your certificate, that's your NFT. That's cool. But and so when that happens, the person that gets the certificate, they own the artwork, or they own the artwork, or you own the artwork. How does it go? You know, I was just wondering.
I don't think Double O's ever discussed any kind of licensing rights or any kind of like ownership
Mm.
through the art of the tattoo. But like you mentioned, a lot of it is created by AI. And as you also mentioned, if AI is involved in the creative process, it's very hard to have any kind of legal ownership.
Yeah, that needs to change. And that needs to change
Oh,
because
it'll
I
change
feel
in
it's
the court in the people's court or in the street of law. Like I think it'll become something that we will create as a law amongst ourselves, where when we see something that was created by AI by somebody, we will, if we appreciate it, we can find ways through either crypto or traditional ways of reimbursing the artist, or if we see somebody else using it and it wasn't original and we are aware of it, maybe we click the unfollow button, the block button. But I think it'll come down to a moral, an ethical feeling as people to like value it and
yeah.
bestow that ownership. Like I know that the government won't acknowledge that John created that art, but me as a fan of John, I will acknowledge it. And whatever somebody does wrongfully with it, I will be in the peers of court. I will be on his jury, and we will decide how to handle it. Maybe we protest the company that took your music and put it in a movie without your permission just because it was AI and they didn't have to. I think that the more we use it as a society, the more all of us will value it to a point that eventually it could make it into law. But there's so many people that are in positions of law right now that are so old that they're seeing the technology around them move so fast they can't comprehend how to create a barrier or preventative means, or even enforce repercussions if people do go against the grain. So everything's sort of kind of up in the air until like these college kids get into positions of power. Anybody in the age of 20, 30, when they are in the Supreme Court or they are, in legislations, conversations, that's when we'll have, John can own what he creates with AI. But right now, the people making those laws, they don't care because they don't use it. They don't even understand it.
Right. And so it places people in a moral type of uh,
I'm seeing it happen already. Some
you know what
people
I'm saying?
say no matter what, it's trash. I don't care what you do with it. And then some people just
Yeah.
look at it as a medium, as a canvas, as a tool. It's almost like, I feel like it was early CGI. A lot of artists made fun of CGI artists, not just because of the type of work it was, but how the quality of it was reflected in Hollywood. So if you were an early CGI artist, you were a joke. People made fun of you, and people didn't like you because you made movies look worse with the shitty CGI. But now, if you're a CGI artist, you're making the new Avengers movies. I can't even tell the Hulk isn't really green like that. Now you're a hero. And I think that's where we're going to go with the AI artists. The same kind of paradigm that the CGI artists had to go through as the technology evolved and as it was implemented in the society. It was a time thing. It took time for the CGI artists to get the respect they earned.
Yeah, I think so too. I do. And and I hope for, I mean, just for the fact that, I don't think this is something that's temporary. I think AI is going to grow in perspectives and things that we couldn't even figure. I mean, it's just like, it's haunting in some ways as, you know, the whole thing about, the robots and AI, the future of the world and how they're gonna take over and, whatever. That's a film. That's a film that was already shot. It's called Terminator and whatever. And the thing is that I don't, I just live one day at a time here with my life and my work.
I think people have to pick the movie they're afraid of. They can't be afraid of the Terminator world future, and they can't also be afraid of the Idiocracy world future, right? In the movie Idiocracy by Mike Judd, the AI did not take over the world. It was the AI and the population of the humans were pretty stupid, but I think we're more so headed towards an idiocracy version of the future, a lot less likely than a Terminator.
Yeah, bro. So,
John, I have a question.
so
you have throughout your career, like you've worked in so many different mediums, and your whole thing is moving between mediums. Just on a personal level, like of all the different mediums you've worked in, what's your favorite? Just on a, personally, what do you enjoy working? Where do you enjoy creating art the most?
well, that's a great question. And, I've been writing. Almost finished a manuscript now. It's called The Story of Jon Planas, and it's a story of an artist, and it sort of reflects my life. It's not a complete. It's a fictional memory based on a true story, but it tells you the beginning of the book of the novel deals with an artist, which that would be me, who gets the commission to create a super large landmark piece on Sunset Boulevard. And so when you're asking me, what do to me, the greatest piece that I've done will always be the Absolute City billboard. I created a 60-foot by 40-foot three-dimensional billboard.
Wow.
With neon lights. But I was hoisted up on one of these large cranes, and I was swinging I could see Sunset Boulevard underneath me. Trust me, it was kind of scary, but on the other hand, exciting. Okay. And so I did this billboard, like I said, and I've never duplicated. I did that. It was up for 3 years. It became one of the longest running billboards. It was an artistic statement, though. It was absolute bottle shapes. I turned it into a cityscape, and each of the bottles was cut out of plywood, and I hand painted each one with different motifs, my Egyptian hieroglyphics, and some images of cats, and very, very kind of like a mystical, spiritual, and it had surrealistic too, because it had two human arms with muscles that were holding on to two paintbrushes and a neon rainbow that connected both of these paintbrushes. If you can imagine the scope and the actual size and scale of this, you would be like, wow, And so the book begins with the fact that the artist has just unveiled this piece, and then the party has the after party has moved to the Chateau Marmont. I don't know if you know, Chateau Marmont is a landmark hotel in Hollywood where there's a lot of celebrities, actors, actresses, singers, pop stars, everybody that's somebody, or at least they want to be somebody, goes to the Chateau Marmont, and that's where the after party was. But the artist actually loses. He had been. I talk about the fact that there's vodka, and you had mentioned, in regards to drinking or smoking. I told you I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't participate in that in what I used to. But the story goes that this man had been sober for 7 years and had done all the good things that had led him to get this commission. But on the night of the opening, the Absolute comes by and he drinks and he breaks the 7 years of sobriety that he had. And so he becomes obsessed with the fact that something is imperfect on the billboard. And he has to go. And what he does is he leaves the party and he begins to climb through a ladder and then the scaffolding and then onto the actual, because these billboards have these ladders that lead all the way up. It's for maintenance and for people to get up there to change their lens. Well, the guy, the artist, says, I cannot believe that I painted a star on this billboard. It's not the right shade of red. And he cannot rest until he climbs up there, brings some red from wherever he has to get it, and begins to touch up the billboard. But what he forgets is that he's really drunk at the moment, and he is about to fall 60 feet down and kill himself, basically.
No.
So, yeah, well, that's what's happening in this, situation, because the insanity of wanting to fix something that is already finished is kind of strange. But for an artist to finish something is rather difficult. Sometimes they have to pull it away from you. I don't know, 007, maybe you've got a painting or some. It's almost like, when is it really finished? And in this particular case, because this billboard was at the corner of a very popular and I think like 1.5 million people go past this intersection, and so people could see it clearly. And the thing happens that he gets arrested. The artist gets arrested. He goes all the way up to pay, and then he gets arrested, and he has to come down to a reality, which is, you know what? I can't change that, or I have to accept it as it is. And that's what happens. And it's part of the book. It's called The Story of Jon Planas. And it's something that I've been doing. I've been working a lot writing. So,
One of the things I love to ask authors when they're working on a book before it's finished, this is my favorite question. Are you also working on an audio book as well? Would it be your voice that I would be hearing if I wanted to grab the audio book? And if so, would you start recording it now rather than when it's done?
that's a great question, actually.
That's a big question.
I go on the Instagram, platform or Facebook or whatever, I keep accounts there where people can actually go to Jon Planas Studio. It's Jon Planas Studio is on Instagram, and you can see a lot of my work there, what I'm putting out. But so I go and I scroll through a lot of the reels, and the guy keeps coming up saying, "Oh, you want your screenplay to be heard, and you really want to sell your screenplay? Well, then you have to turn it into an audio screenplay or whatever, And then people will really listen to it, and that's how I sold my first screenplay. And it has actually caught my attention, because that's how I do it. I love to listen to my writing or other people's writing through Word, the application, and then I just push audio and it speaks it to me.
I've learned from audiobooks, if you're, if you're lucky, a lot of the audiobooks, if they're read to you by the author, they'll have random things that are not in the book because the author will just read something and they'll go on a tangent about the thing they're reading and then they'll get back to the story. It's almost like a cool director's cut of a movie.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
I
not
do a
looking
lot
to
of
actually.
audiobooks because people who read books, they don't get as much information as I do by listening. I get all the cool extra behind the scenes info.
Yeah, it just seems like
Yeah.
also our culture, the culture. I don't know. I mean, the generation, what people are doing now. I don't know. Are people reading? Do they sit down to read
That's a
books
good
anymore?
point.
I mean,
Yeah, there's
I
some
don't
people
know.
still are, thankfully, and a lot of people are listening to books these days.
Hey,
And to
guess
your
what?
point,
Hey, I
to
just
your
got a
point,
book yesterday. I got an
yeah.
amazing book yesterday. I got Hijacking Bitcoin yesterday, and I got it signed by Kaliski. It was really
Oh,
cool.
very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Now,
Like,
are you going to read that book though, Double O? Are you actually going to read that book?
bro, I got a bookworm tatted on me, bro. Like, how you think I'm so smart, bro? I read.
I
That's right.
listen. I listen.
Of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't wait to read it.
I don't know. Things change for me all the time, and then again, it's just the availability. Reading is it's you have to sit down, you have to concentrate, and you have to like reading comprehension. Some people have a difficult time with it. Some people that have like what's it called, the
Dyslexia, and
dyslexia,
I got that, and it
dyslexia.
sucks.
Yeah, yeah. I have that too. I sometimes I'll write a number. I'll write it upside down. Or, like if it's like 650, I'll definitely write it 065. And
I write all my B's, D's, Q's, and P's in capital letters.
wow. Okay. Yeah, but so you know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know. I don't know about reading. I love to. I used to, as a younger man. I went to, like I said, I went to Pratt Institute. I took literature classes, and we had to read this required literature. So there was a lot of literature, and I read it. I learned about some really cool authors that I really respect today, and that I'm actually influenced to do my own writing. So yeah, but then
Well, the
suddenly the
audio
whole
book just sounds like a whole nother medium. I mean, you're so used to working with so many different mediums. I feel like
yeah
the voice is like the one medium that you really haven't tapped into that's like naturally your medium, Like I do
Hmm.
the audio book for sure and then put your own twist onto it. Make people
Yeah,
have
you
to
brought
buy
it.
the book and buy the audio book so they get the full experience.
yeah, because I'm listening to you tell the stories and stuff. I'm just so tuned in.
For
Like,
real.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, we're getting
Yeah,
close on the hour. We have about 10 minutes left, and I want to talk a little bit
yeah.
about what's next for Jon. So, I mean, if you wanted to talk a little bit about what your plans are for 2026 and what, your goals and objectives are for the year and how you plan on executing some of that, that would be amazing to kind of tap into what you got going on for the year.
You know, uh, I, I graduated with a film degree because I love the medium of film, but because of the circumstances behind my hand painted jacket, after going to the clubs back in the days of Studio 54 and Limelight and so on, uh, I created a brand without really even planning so, but I was not doing it to become a Calvin Klein type of guy. I was just doing it because I wanted to express my painting talent and my voice, what I wanted to say, and I didn't have the room in New York to actually do large paintings or even small paintings. Um, I was definitely interested in what happened because it was just born out of necessity, and I did it just for decoration purposes. I painted the jackets. One jacket led to another jacket to another jacket. I would be interviewed by magazines like Vanity Fair and Elle magazine, for example, and they would
Oh,
say, "But
shit. Nice.
Jon, oh yeah, I had a lot of coverage back then from the press and became very interested. But I've had celebrities that were in the rock and roll world, and Cyndi Lauper and Dizzy Harry and Chrissy Hines. Back then, those three women, became one of my best friends. They continually ordered jackets, handmade jackets in different styles. But so the stores would ask me, so what's in your next collection? What's the next collection? And I would say, well, more artwork, more painted artwork on wearables. And I didn't understand what they were trying to say to me was, what is in the, you have a holiday collection coming out? Do you have a winter's collection? Do you have a women's, what's, and I was stuck on the painting, on the clothing as a medium to allow my art to be seen by many people because people would wear it to parties or to whatever and they go, oh, look at that, and so that was my hook. Obsessively, I'm an obsessive person. I painted 3,500 jackets, 3,500 original hand painted jackets. When I go back to that, and I in that it was between maybe 5 years. So yeah, I was busy. It was an industry that I had created, but to bring us forth to today, all of that now has sort of resurfaced my older style, which was more of a cubist, geometric style that has something to do, I think, with my Latin roots, has again begun to prevail in my work, and as well as the writing that I'm doing. I have completed about 5 or 6 screenplays right now
Oh shit.
in a short period of time.
That's a lot of work.
This
Yeah.
is what I wanted to do. And let me tell you that I have brought my imagination visually into writing and now into the screenplay format. And I don't, people say, yeah, well, what do you know about that? I don't know about anything. Like I just consider myself a person that has been suddenly awakened. Not that I was ever asleep, but wakened to create on the film medium. So what you're asking me is, are you going to? I'm going to be doing more films. This is what I want to see myself. I'm in
That's great to
Hollywood.
hear.
I'm at a point in my yeah. I'm at a point in my life, but I've written something very interesting.
What kind
I
of
don't know if you know,
films,
but there's
is there a genre? Could you explain kind of
uh,
like the vibe of these screenplays?
okay. Well, look, the first thing that came to mind. Well, first of all, I wrote a book, and it has already won an international book award, by the way. It's just amazing. It's called Echoes of Terrorism. This is my first book that I wrote, and it just all happened organically through
Echoes
conversations
of
with my
Terrorism. That's
mom.
a pretty damn good name.
Yes, with
That
my
sounds like the
mom.
title of a movie.
Well, it's probably going to be a movie too, But the fact is that, yeah, it takes. But I'm from South America, originally from the country of Peru, and so I'm appalled. When I see the world news and when I see the wars happening right now with the Russians killing and vice versa. They're such the Israelite people, with this and such tension and such horrible circumstances in our world. So talking with my mom, who by the way, I'm a very much believer in the love of your mother. My mother is a great friend, and she's always been, very much in regards to pushing me towards artistic endeavors. She's always pushed me, and very wonderful person. But she was telling me that in the '90s in South America and Peru, there was a horrible situation that was killing. Well, we now know there was 40,000 people that disappeared in a period of about 7 or 8 years. It was a group, a terrorist group called the Sendero Luminoso, and basically what they did was uh, it was a philosophical teacher from a place that a lot of young intellectual minds in South America were studying with him. And the guy suddenly turns to become a very communist. And he said, we have to get the oligarchy, the people in power out, and we have to do it in whatever means we're going to do it. And so the whole thing became that they began to literally go into towns with poor children and men and women who lived agricultural lives, and they said, if you, I'm going to give you a rifle or a machine gun. You're going to pick it up, and you're going to be on our side because we have to take over the Peruvian corrupt government. And if you did not do that, they will kill you. So it was overtly extremist, as well as the previous. So during that period of time, there would be bombings. There would be horrible buildings would fall, and hundreds and thousands of people disappeared. So my book deals with the character that is a woman who actually comes back from the United States after getting a law degree and leaving the South American Latin woman. I'm going to have to get married to a man, have children. I have to do what my husband tells me because that's usually the machismo in these countries. And when she leaves that, and she sort of like turns her back on her family, but now she's coming back. And she's coming back, and she sees that the country's in trouble, and so therefore she sets out to help in whichever way she can. That's echoes of terrorism. And
Echoes of terrorism. That name is. I know I'm going to see that on billboards. That's for sure. I feel like that name alone. If they don't want the movie, they're going to want that name.
Well, listen, the book is available right now, and if you like to read, or if please pick up a copy. It's on Amazon Kindle, and it's called Echoes of Terrorism. It's available. It's a easy read. I think it's at 125 pages. But please, if you listen, put the word out there because it's a great book. Even though it's about Peruvian, it really carries a lot of impact as to the world situation today. And so it's available.
Do you accept crypto? Do you accept crypto for your book? Can I purchase your book with crypto?
I wish. I don't know.
You could probably get a Kindle gift card.
But listen, if you have a Kindle account, I don't know if you do. I have one because I like to watch a lot of Prime movies. It's a Prime account, I guess.
I got a Prime account.
But you do. Then you know what? I think you can even read it for free. You can read it for free. It's available for people that read on Prime. I think it's free or for like very minimal money. But I appreciate anybody that will purchase it or at least leave a good review or even a bad review if you don't like it. But I don't care. But I think it's an important book for this time, and probably soon will be a screenplay as well.
I'm gonna have to check it out so I can say I read the book. It would be the first time I could say this out loud. I read the book before it was the movie.
But I got a question though. You mean to tell me you on not another Bitcoin podcast and you don't have a crypto wallet?
No, I do. I have a crypto wallet.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about his Kindle store too, man. I was like, what are you talking about? He doesn't sell his book out of his trunk. He sells the book out of the store.
But still, I want to get one personal from the source, from the plug. You feel me?
But the whole
no
thing,
middleman, bro. Come on, bro. No middleman. Peer to peer,
no
bro.
Middleman.
Come on, represent.
I was paying for a lot. I was paying about a bit. I just bought some myself. But then now I hear that it's going down because they're finding out that it was Jeffrey Epstein that was really the creator of Bitcoin, and this is really devastating.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because I never once said Bitcoin. I'm talking about Bitcoin Cash, baby. I'm gonna hook you up with some Bitcoin Cash for that book, man. What's up? I'm hollering at the plug, one-on-one, peer-to-peer. What's up, man?
Yeah.
Show me how to do that.
We're gonna get you connected with him. It is the hour. We have to wrap up the podcast. John, bro, we literally blew through an hour, man. Time flew.
Yeah.
Hey man, I feel like you guys are my homies. Like we're sitting down.
Thank you, man. No, that's what I mean. I feel like we made a friend today, and that's how I try to let people know. The vibe is like, I just want to sit down next to a stranger. It takes about an hour for the bus to show up. Why don't we have a conversation? And I'm so happy that I got to meet you. Thanks to Jeff. Jeff Crane from not another NFT the movie. It's gonna happen. NFT the movie, The Circus is in town. Go and check out NFT the movie, The Circus is in town. Jon Palas's book is on Kindle. If you got Prime, it's free. Just go check. I mean, I think I have Prime, so now I have no excuse. Plus, again, I want to kind of brag to people. Like, I've had people my whole life. I read the book before it was a movie.
Yeah, I did. I read The Wolf of Wall Street.
Huh?
I read The Wolf of Wall Street before it was a movie.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
Oh, okay.
There you go. All right,
John,
John.
do you-
Thank you.
John, thank
Oh,
you.
we can
bro.
do this
We'll
again.
talk after we read the book.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
Have a
I'll
day.
read it and then have you back on. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Hello, happy bros. Hey, you're about to get a face full of the Ken Bozak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh, yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Ken Bozak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. 'Cause I'm Ken bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Yep. Real high. Hello, happy bros. Come get some Ken Bozak.